Up In Smok'd Podcast. I'm here with James Townsend. Thanks for coming, James.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome. Thanks for coming. So I've been looking to get you on for a while, but you've been too busy just doing stuff, haven't you? You're a busy man.
Yeah, redecorating. Is that my bar bill already?
No, yours is bigger than that, mate. Don't worry. I just like to write myself notes because I just my mind goes blank. I just forget stuff. You know, I forget what I'm talking about mid-conversation. So if that happens, take over, okay?
Yeah, sure. No problem. It's hard to shut me up.
So you say about the so you're a decorator?
No. So the last...
Oh, you were decorating at home.
What happened was, so the last time that I saw you, you said, can you do the podcast? I think it was a week later. And then I was like, I can decorate my whole flat in 2 days.
Yeah.
And it turned out that I couldn't. And that's what happened. And I ended up sleeping on a mattress in the floor, and my underfloor heating broke. Right, so I'm just on the floor in a room about 35 degrees for about 2 days. So that was horrible.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, fever dreams, mate.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then so what do you do? I've never. What do you even do? I don't know.
So I work in the pharmacy team of the London Ambulance Service.
Oh.
So we put all the meds together that go out. So all the drugs that go out on the trucks come in packs. They're all sealed packs, so no one can steal them. Basically, there's all morphine in it and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
So what I do is I check that everything's correct. We send out the morphine and the ketamine and stuff like that to the stations.
And the ketamine.
Yeah.
Was that an actual?
Yeah.
I just thought it was something.
No. So ketamine's an anaesthetic. Ketamine's more widely used. I'm what's called a pharmacy technician, right? So
Okay.
it's similar to a pharmacist who didn't go to university, but many similar parts of the job. So ketamine's more commonly used as an anaesthetic for children than it is for horses.
Right. Okay. How did you find yourself in pharmacy? How did that come about?
So, my dad used to own newsagents when I was a kid, and he basically one day I was working with him. We fell out big time. We had a shop in Woolwich, and an old family friend had a chemist next door to his old shop, and he was like, "Look, we fell out big time. Can't work together." And he basically turned around and went, "Look, I've got you a job. Go and work." And I was just opening boxes and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then I ended up sort of working my way up, doing courses. We ran a wholesale business for a while. We were exporting drugs out to Europe and stuff like that when the pound was a lot stronger. I ended up working in cancer, chemotherapy preparation, assessing people for their how they take their medicine. Yeah. So if they had like dementia or whatever, I'd put one of those boxes in place. You know, the ones where it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh,
with all
yeah,
the pills.
Yeah.
It's an interesting job.
Yeah.
It is an interesting job. You get to help people. You get to deal with people.
Oh, that's good. Just a caring person. Is that what your caring nature? Is that what it is?
That's what I like people to think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you had to go and let out some steam from all the caring by getting into comedy.
Yeah, man, I love comedy.
How did you end up in comedy? Did you do like a course or something, or what did you do?
Yeah, I did. So I've always been into even as a kid. Like I used to watch a lot of like Tommy Cooper, Jasper Carrot, and stuff like that when I was really, really young. And then people always said, you should try stand up.
Yeah.
And then I'd done a course 10, 12 years ago in New Cross. It was a 3-day course, Shakespearean acting and stand-up comedy, which was a bizarre combination. And then at the end of that, at the end of those 3 days, he went, I've been doing a 6-week course as well. I can't even remember the guy's name. I've been doing a 6-week course with a showcase on Sunday. Do you want to come to it? But you just do 2 minutes, they're doing 5. So I was like, all right, cool. Walked up, I told my last joke first, went, this, walked off the stage. And I tried a couple of gigs after that. And it always just sat at the back of my mind.
Right,
and I'd done the Logan Murray course.
Yeah, I did that one.
In 2021.
Oh, okay.
And then...
So what made you do a second course then?
Well, because it had been like 8 years as a gap. And I was like, do you know what? I don't feel like I actually got much out of that. Because it's one thing... A lot of new comedians, they just come out with premise without the punchline. So I wanted to work out how to structure a joke. Because anyone can be funny in a pub.
Yeah.
But it's actually... A comedian's building context.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Anyone can say something funny. Do you know what I mean? So I wanted to actually work out how to structure it and stuff like that, and actually give it a go. You know what things are like. If you've spent the money, you're gonna try and get the most out of it. Do you know what I mean? And then the rest is all just.
And do you remember your first set?
Yeah. So as I say, the other one I just walked off stage, but like the first, I've done a showcase, the Logan Murray showcase. I've done a load of stuff about spiders.
Okay.
Which was good.
Is it stuff you still use now?
Some of it, yeah. But obviously it's changed a little bit.
Yeah. Is there any of the stuff that you tried that you cringe at now and think, what was I thinking?
God, yeah. There's a video of me at the Cav, yeah. So, actually, no, tell a lie. So the showcase was on the Saturday, I think, and the people on the course were like, oh, we're going to go down to the Cav. We might actually do a spot there beforehand. Is anyone up for it? And I was like, oh, I've done it before, I'll do it. And then on the day everyone went, and then everyone sort of backed out a little bit, and I was like, I'll do it. And it's really, really hot day. I was running late, as always, and dripping with sweat. I had this Fred Perry on, this tartan Fred Perry on, and it was just pouring off me. And I'd done 5 minutes about porn.
Right.
I've still got. I watched. If I have a really good set, I'll watch it again just to remind me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just look like a dirty old bastard.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Well, because of what you're talking about.
Because of what I'm talking about, and just sweating. My glasses are steamed up. My hair's all over the place.
But I thought that was kind of like your look, isn't it? You get that where you're sweating. Yeah, that nonce look.
You know me so well, Lee.
I thought that was the character you were playing. That's what you're going for, the nonce guy.
No, it's not a character.
You got that like intensity, don't you? You've that
I'm quite intense.
The intensity, which I don't know if it's part of the character or if it's how you work. Whenever someone leaves the ketamine in the wrong place, you go, "What the fuck happened here? What that here?"
I got a tendency to fly off the handle. Yeah, I think I'm quite an intense person. Like I kind of have two modes. It's like funny or furious.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So I've got to try and find a middle ground between that. Funnily enough, on the way here, my boss was just phoning me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's
like, about you.
Yeah. She's like, you need to chill the fuck out, James.
Yeah, I've watched some of the stuff like that you've got that whole set about Noel Edmonds.
Yeah.
Is that based on something? Is that or you just that the kind of weird shit goes through your head? Or?
So it came about because I was like, you know when someone takes a joke too far.
Yeah.
It just came from that, and I was like, what is the furthest you could go with a stupid joke? Like some people just repeat it.
Yeah.
That was that, but I like silly humour, and also I like to do when I perform, because like you say, like I've got a certain style. I find that adding the surreal into it as on top of that, it just gives an extra element, because I get the impression that most people think when I open my mouth and go on the stage, I'm just going to talk about tits, football, and coke. Do you know what I mean? So when you start talking about spiders and Noel Edmonds,
it's something different.
Yeah, but I only do stuff that I find funny.
Well, the intensity kind of suits for that Conor McGregor look that you've got going on.
I get it all the time. In Christmas, I had some woman come up to me. She was like, "You really look like Conor McGregor. Can I get my photo with you?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I got this picture with these women. And I'm like, "You're gonna wake up tomorrow morning, but who the fucking hell is that?" Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get that a lot.
But did they know that you just looked like him, that you weren't him?
Yeah. But I did have it on the train the other day. I was sitting there. I wear a suit when I perform, as you know. I was sitting on a train in my suit, away from everyone, and there was just this bloke staring at me, and I was like, he thinks I'm Conor McGregor. I know he thinks I'm Conor McGregor. So, but as a comedian, of all the people that you could look like, he's notorious for not having a sense of humour. Do you know what I mean? He's been like the best Putin impersonator in Ukraine. Do you know what I mean?
Would you say that Conor McGregor didn't have I think he's got a... I mean, obviously it's a bit...
He can't take a joke.
Oh, yeah, he can't take a joke, no, but he can give a lot of abuse.
Yeah.
Like he's...
he's funny.
Yeah, who the fuck is this guy? And all that stuff,
He's got this bravado. He's got this... Yeah, he's a very unique character.
He's playing a character, though, isn't he? I mean, I wonder whenever he actually goes home, does he sit down and go, "Hey, darling, are you making tea?"
I highly doubt that. I highly doubt it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think... I see what you mean, though, because I think when you get to that sort of level, you have to become a caricature of yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway,
because it's kind of like that's his brand to be this loud. He can't just suddenly go out there and be not having a good day and be kind of quiet and timid. He's always got to be this big, kind of cool, in your face kind of character. So
yeah, 100%. I don't think he's got fluffy slippers. Put it that way.
Do you think so?
No.
I reckon you'd be surprised if you
Yeah.
It was like you ever see that clip of famous rapper, name is gone from me, and no changes. Do you call the guy?
Tupac,
yes.
Tuppence.
You see the clip going of him whenever he's young?
Yeah, and he's like really camp.
I'm Tupac Shakur, and it's just not. And then they reckon he's an actor playing this cool character for to lure people into hip hop and the gangster life and all this kind of stuff. But in reality, when he goes home, he's like, hey, So he's like a camp kind of character.
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of the veil, as we were saying, I think the veil of a lot of the hip hop industry has just come down massively lately.
Will it come right down though? I mean,
oh yeah. It's being dragged right down,
why
mate.
is it? I mean, they keep talking about it, but P. Diddy, that I still don't know what's going on in the party. You just know that you don't want to have been associated with it. Apparently, they're selling. What are they doing? You can pay a certain amount. Oh yeah, so there's someone in Hollywood who's got the videos and they're selling them back to the people at the parties for the highest bidder gets their video back so that they're removed from the list.
I can imagine.
And they're all paying top money for it to come off.
Yeah, well,
that's the end of careers, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. But it's
the beginning.
Same as the Epstein things as well. Like they get these guys mashed up. There's some people that go to the party for the purpose of doing that, and they sip their drinks and they wait till 2 a.m. And then you got the people that go and get smashed, and then they go home and they want to be there and meet people.
Yeah.
And you got the people that have to be there, and there's some of the people that have to be there, and then they get tied into these record contracts or these film contracts or these political agreements or whatever, and they control them. Like people have been using this sort of thing against people for years.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, like Epstein, he but who knows who gave him suicide, but I mean obviously it wasn't suicide, and he just had so much dirt. I mean, 'cause apparently he's like a billionaire, but they don't know exactly how he get that much money. So
he started out
blackmail, isn't it?
He started out as a school teacher, didn't he? Yeah.
Did he?
He was a school teacher.
He did all right, didn't he?
I think he was teaching maths or something like that, and then he just started to get to know people, and then just worked his way up. But there was the guy, I think it's the guy who owned the group of businesses that Louis Vuitton and Victoria's Secret are, and he gave him like a couple of billion to just literally transferred it to him. You don't know what positions these people have been in. Like I struggle to lend someone a score, let alone
exactly.
a couple of billion. So like, what are these people doing? But then once they've got that power over them, they then make them do all of these things. That's why there's so many films and poor policy decisions.
Oh, you reckon? So like movies like that last Ghostbusters, someone's been caught in bed with an underage girl or something like that.
Giving her the bibblies.
I don't know why I picked that movie, so I don't know if who made it or whatever. But
Bustin' makes me feel good.
There's nothing of crap movies, so these are all down to people getting caught doing weird shit.
You can't say all of them, but like it makes
a lot of them.
It makes sense that like Diddy would be the music guy, and then I don't know, someone is going to cut. And who was the guy? Looks like the bloke out of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Big guy, and he got done in the movie stuff, in the film stuff. What was his name? Weinstein, yeah. And then Epstein's more the political stuff or the scientist. It makes sense that there would be like a person for each of those industries that can control them. I guess, I don't know, but it's becoming more and more evident. But I've been reading a lot of books about a cult within the hip-hop industry. And you know the old story about the guy who sold his soul to be the best guitar player? He met him at the crossroads. I can't remember his name. He was an old Robert something, in the 30s, and he became like one of the best guitar players of all time. He's like a soul a soul. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that goes back to that rituals. I've seen rappers doing mad rituals on beaches, big fucking pentagrams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like,
there's a lot of weird stuff going on, isn't there? I saw one. I forget what you call them. Was it Bones?
Bone Thugs and Harmony?
Yeah, I think it's those guys when they were saying that back in the, I think it's the 90s when the investors, the people that owned the prisons, had invested in hip hop on a record label, and they called them all in and said, basically, we need you to glamorize crime because it puts people in prison and we make money that way. So this is what you get, this is what your reward is, and they were like, we're not getting involved, and they said, there's a lot of people that did sign up and they were, okay, cool, that's what we're doing now. That's what we're doing.
That's the thing. So, and the thing is, if you've come from nothing and you've struggled and you've had to get, they have food stamps out there and stuff like that, and you've got all around you've got violent crime and stuff like that, you wouldn't give a if someone said to you, I'm going to give you 50 million. Some people, they would go, yeah, I'll take that and I'll do whatever you need because I don't want my kids to have that life or I don't want to have that life. But I've heard the same thing. And the investors in the music industry also own the prisons and stuff like that.
Because a lot of money in the prisons. I don't know if you ever saw that. That was the Capitalist show, Michael Moore. And it shows you how much money the prison is making. So they paid the company to make that law and give it to the senator just to see it through, the 3 strikes and you're out.
Yep.
And then the judges were getting paid like $1,000 per person that they sent to prison. So if you were caught for jaywalking, prison all day long, just send everyone to prison, filling the prisons because it's free labour, So
yeah, totally.
If you remove the labour cost from my businesses, I'd be rich overnight.
That's the thing. It's always the main thing, and then you've got all these other complications and stuff like that, like people phoning in sick, whatever. But if they're getting forced to work, God, fucking hell, this got heavy quick, didn't it?
I know, yeah. Come on, find the punchline in that, James.
I don't know if there is, mate.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is.
Trim that down a bit.
Yeah. And another thing,
we're gonna be in clown music. It'll be okay.
But I think the world at the moment is like that those tangled wires behind the TV. It's just it's all just a mess now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do we start again?
Yeah, it's all the who's actually controlling that kind of stuff, and
there's so many contracts and stuff like that. Even in the UK, I don't think G4S have the contract now, but like you have all the prison guards and stuff like that were hired by G4S, so they outsource the staffing. So then there's no responsibility if something goes wrong.
Right.
So like, say something happens to a prisoner. Is it the prison's by a guard? Is it the prison's responsibility for having the guard there, or is it the contractor for hiring the guard?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So these investigations just go on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Everything's third party.
Besides that, even they're also safe anyway, because this is what amazes me whenever I find out is that the prisons there in America, they're not owned by the government. They're actually private limited companies. So if anything happens, they can always fold. But they're private limited companies that are set up with the goal of making profits, huge profits, off slave labour. It's actually modern day slavery right there.
And that's the stuff Kanye West was talking about.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago.
And now he's nuts.
Well, that's what they say, but also he was talking about. I think
he still is nuts, though.
Well, I mean, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you can be that creative or that successful without a little flair of insanity.
Yeah,
for sure. And I mean, like, whatever. Same as Michael Jackson, he still makes fucking good music.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, but I think, all this stuff about the parties and stuff like that, and the people that were being protected that he was saying 3 years ago, they're all getting.
It's all happening done. Exactly. Yeah,
it's all coming out, and he was talking about sacrifices and stuff like that. And
that's the eerie bit. Is it all that stuff going on? I saw the guy. I don't know if you know of Boyzone, but Shane Lynch from Boyzone was just talking about how he used to be in rooms and people like Taylor Swift and stuff would be praying to the devil over their music to make it go far and stuff like that. Yeah, more heavy stuff.
Doing it over the master copy, so everything, so that all the other copies that go out have got that taint on it.
Do you think that's real? Do you think all that stuff is real?
Well, I think it doesn't matter or not whether we think these things are real.
Mm-hmm.
If they think it's real,
That's yeah.
Do you know what
true,
I mean?
yeah.
So, and whether or not that even have any influence, there are still people that are doing these things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can go right the way through, Satanism, Luciferianism, Rosicrucians. Like, there's loads of mad stuff with this, and there are people that sacrifice and
do all that weird stuff. Yeah, I seen
Yeah.
a thing where Lady Gaga, and she's on television, the Letterman show or whatever, and she's like, they said, "Oh, you done well in this album release, whatever." She goes, "Yeah, thank Lucifer," blah blah. And she just says it casually.
That's the thing. She had a song come out yesterday after the Grammys called Abracadabra. So Abracadabra goes back to Aleister Crowley, who was like a famous wizard who used to work for the British government.
Okay.
And they reckon that because Hitler was massively into the occult as well.
Was he?
Yeah, massively.
But I've got a feeling he was evil, that guy.
Oh yeah. I think unanimously
There was a darkness to him.
He was a bit of a dick. He was a bit of a dick. Yeah. But they were doing all mad rituals, and they reckon that Rudolf Hess and Aleister Crowley were like sending spells over to each other during the war. It's affecting the tides of the war. And then Hess flew to Scotland because he wanted to speak to Winston Churchill, and they brought him down to London. And then Aleister Crowley gave him a load of mescaline and just bent his mind. Yeah.
Did what to it?
Just totally bent his mind. Like, mescaline is a very, very powerful hallucinogenic.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
Sounds cool.
it's like giving someone a life-altering dose of LSD and then just f***ed with him in a dungeon.
No.
Again, it's got really heavy.
Well, okay, talking about heavy, what about Elon and his...
There's no possible way he didn't know what he was doing.
No, I know.
Situation. If he'd have done it once, I'd have been like, whoops.
Yeah.
I accidentally saluted Hitler. We've all done it. But like,
we've all done.
But we've all, when you're out with the lads. But he definitely knew what he was doing. He done it 3 times.
Yeah, that's about, because I've always been a huge Elon fan. I love the guy. I think that everything he's doing, he seemed to be one of the most successful men that wasn't doing it for the money. He's just driven for humanity and to improve things. Then he starts doing all this weird stuff. But I think that maybe he just got too big, too famous, and like in one of the clips I saw of him, he was in the background just looking completely wiped out on drugs.
Yeah.
And I thought, it's probably a very lonely place. He is literally at the top. If this is a game of life, he's winning. He's on his own. There's no one on his level. He can't find a club of people who are also the top people in the world at that level,
Well, yeah, but I mean, the people that he set PayPal up with and those sort of things, I mean, like, there's still people that are hyper intelligent that he knocks about with. I mean, he must have a social circle. Like, and I sort of don't even put him in the same realm as people like Jeff Bezos, because like I see what you're saying. Like, he's a very, very interesting and unique person.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen the meme of him hang gliding, and he's like, so the humans enjoy this? I'll enjoy this as well. Like, he doesn't seem of this world. But then again, there's all pictures of him dressed up like the devil on Twitter. He dressed up as a devil on Halloween. If you look at certain Tesla symbols, they look like pentagrams and stuff like that. His, I think it is either his mother or his grandmother was involved in the Planned Parenthood part of South Africa. So there's like, and his grandparents were part of the South African German Workers' Party that were Nazis and stuff like that. If you start digging on these people, you could see a lot of this mad shit.
I wonder, is there breadcrumbs left sometimes to find things there, and like I saw a documentary, or I don't know about documentary, but like an interview recently of his dad being interviewed, and his dad is saying, he used to go to school every day in a Rolls Royce, and people are like, that's why he's the richest man in the world, because he went to school in a Rolls Royce. It's like, that doesn't make you the richest man in the world. That means you went to school in a Rolls Royce. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And there would have been significantly more people that done that in life and didn't go anywhere. He's really, everything he was doing seemed to really genuinely be for the good of humanity. Then I kind of feel like he's been captured in a way, or someone's managed to infiltrate his mind or get him to start doing crazy shit. Because now this whole thing, that's not normal. It's not.
No, it's not normal. And especially on that sort of platform.
Yeah, and it's not by mistake. And it could be that his humor's gone a little bit kind of twisted. He started to get, since he said to Disney to go fuck themselves or something like that there, he seems to just keep pushing the boundaries of what's socially acceptable. And now it seems to be where like he's trying to say, I don't have to care what anyone thinks. I can say what I want. technically anybody can, but you don't, you know. And
yeah, it's just having a bit of decorum, isn't it?
yeah, it's being respectful to other people, and I think he maybe is just getting a little bit carried away. I hope he comes back to normal because he is my favorite person, I think, and I was really glad to see him get into that position because he's like in charge of efficiency of America, and that's what they need. I always wish someone would come here, be like Elon Musk, and then take the NHS, you know, expenditure and look and see how they're spending the money and make it efficient, you know, because it's just down to corruption that
totally.
The money's disappearing, you know.
The amount of cash, it's the amount of hands that are taking money out of the pot.
Out of the public pocket.
Like there's so many third party things, and I used to work in, so I had a little gap in my career and I got into healthcare recruitment. And there's crazy money in that.
Yeah.
And there's all these systems and stuff like that. And what tends to happen is there'll be all bids are like all people who approach them tend to give an inferior product for a lot more money. Yeah. I mean, you must have heard the things about like £100
to change a light bulb, yeah, because it's in a contract, because somebody once fell and hurt their leg, that to avoid being sued, they've now got a contract with one of the guys who's got a company who's tied with the Tories, and his contract is £100 light bulb. Yeah,
it doesn't surprise me. There's near me, it's just shut down actually. But their Instagram is spelling mistakes cost lives. But there's a place called the Museum of Neoliberalism near me, and they had all articles and I can't think of the word, like things that they'd made all talking about stuff like this. And like, have you ever heard about the Amazon armband things?
No.
They're like it's like a computer that you wear on your arm when you work at the Amazon factory, and it works out how many things you've packed, how long you're at the toilet, how long you've been away from where you're standing.
Oh wow, that's awesome!
Yeah. Get a couple for work.
I love that idea.
But there's a lot of I've got a couple of books. There's a book called Who Really Runs Britain that you should check out, and there's another one called Sacrifice Magic Behind the Mic by Isaac Weishaupt. They're both really good books. I'll send you them after the thing.
Yeah, cool.
Relevant to what we're talking about.
Elaborate.
Who Really Runs Britain is talking about.
That's what I'm curious about.
The third party. It's quite an old book now. I think it's pre-Brexit. It's all the third party contractors that work for the government, how the NHS has been sold up, how much money is wasted.
Yeah.
And look, I completely agree with you. Someone should come in and do it, but at this point, how do you even start? And the majority of people. Have you ever heard the expression, anyone who seeks power shouldn't be trusted with it? Yeah. So like a lot of these career politicians, they come in, they're protected, they know their people, but they also know how a lot of the guys, they come in for a particular reason, but by the time they've actually got to the point where they can change things, that whole thing has gone. Yeah. But now they know what the rules are. They know what they can change. There's many vested interest, money interests, and stuff like that. So you can't really change things. And then someone who's grassroots, say me and you set up a political party tomorrow. Getting through that door would be virtually impossible because there'd be so many barriers and there's so many people that wouldn't want that change. Because again, it's lying in people's fucking pockets.
It is. Yeah, that's what I always think is the only way. Because the say was that the madness is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. You know, for as long as politicians are running the countries, it's always going to be that case, because you probably do start off where you've got genuine intentions, or else you don't, and you're actually going in there for the power. Yeah. And then once you eventually get there, but you've taken so many backhanders by the time, and built such a network of people giving you backhanders. By the time you get to that position of Prime Minister or President of the United States or whatever. Like Robin Williams once said about the American government, when you're running for president, you should be made toward like a Formula One driver. There's all your sponsors on your shirt, so you can see why your decisions are what they are.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, like Obama that time when he... I can't remember what the area was called, when he went and drank the water and pretended that it wasn't giving all the kids lead poison.
Somewhere in Michigan,
brains.
Yeah.
You know, and that's because that was purely to do with money, adding the extra pipe that didn't need to be built. So
can I
they
get
can
a water?
charge people.
Yeah. Can I get a water? This isn't even a joke. Can I get a
No,
water?
yeah. I just genuinely thirsty. Yeah.
Fuck off.
You see it? I mean, I was like, oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
You know, these people are there thinking that you're there to save them, and then you go and just turn on them, you know, and just pretend that it's all in their heads, you know.
100%. It was Flint, Michigan.
Flint, Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's all smoke and mirrors, and they work for someone, and then they work for someone, and then they work for someone.
Yeah.
The most powerful person in the world doesn't even know it's them. I think.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Being the most powerful person doesn't know that they are the most
that
powerful.
they are the most powerful person, because I think it's constantly changing. But all these people report to people like market forces rule the world. Alan Greenspan. So like there's so many more factors at play, as you say, and we don't know. And then that's just the spokesperson. That's just the fall guy. Your Keir Starmers, your Obamas, whatever. Obviously they're reporting. And I'm not going to get heavy on like deep states or whatever. But like when you think about it, there are people that have done the job possibly for 30, 40 years that know how things go, and they've been taking backhanders as well. But you'll never know their name. Yeah, you know. It's a crazy set of affairs.
I think that's what makes Donald Trump different is, although he does a lot of crazy shit, and he says a lot of stuff which, you know, so I don't agree with his, he's done some crazy shit, but he doesn't seem like he's got the same motives as the other ones. You know, he seems to be just trying to be brutal in how he would run a company is how he's running the country.
He definitely runs the country like he runs a company.
Yeah, all these
100%.
tariffs. Like he's talking about removing all the taxes for the whole country, but they're not going to pay income tax anymore. And he reckons this is plausible. And then it makes you think, do we need to, you know, can we get away without paying taxes, you know?
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd like that. Not in this country, mate.
No.
Not in this country.
No. Unless we added that on. He offered it to Canada. He said, "You want to be another state of America?" The Canadians are saying, "Fuck off."
Yeah.
No, we don't even want to visit. Never mind be part of it. You know.
But yeah, but you never know. I mean, I've heard that there are people that are up for it as well. But again, you don't know, because we only hear the most extreme thought.
Yeah.
Like it's either good or bad. Like everything, 99.9% of reality is grey area, right?
Yeah.
There's no, the absolute is very.
It doesn't get reported that bit.
So, but all the thing that sells the papers is the good news, or is the bad news. Good news does not sell papers at all.
Yeah.
So, like, if you see something on the front page, right? Trump. Trump saying we're putting tariffs in everywhere. You want to find out what that thing is, and it just riles people up, and that's why social media has just exploded, because you just got crazy people saying stupid shit and then arguing about it.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, one of the problems of social media is because controversy gets you seen. Yeah, the algorithm likes the controversy, and therefore the more. You see some people and they just run their mouth off and they go big for it, you know, and they just find more stuff to fuel that, because this is working for me. So I'm gonna say more bullshit that people are buying into. It's exactly how it works, isn't it?
Like Conor McGregor. Do you know what I mean? That was his shtick. But like Elon Musk and Trump, they both see it as any publicity is good publicity. So it's a new kind of politics that I think in the last sort of 15, 20 years, that sort of, you know, people have always said mad and they're not necessarily committed to it, but this is real populist shit, real emotive stuff. But it's a lot of it's on the surface.
Did he say something about doing a purge? Donald Trump.
Yeah, they've started deporting a lot of people. But I mean, Keir Starmer's been. I think Keir Starmer's deported thousands of people already.
But was it supposed to be some purge where, like, you ever see the movie The Purge?
Yeah, I know it. I've not seen it.
Where they get like 24 hours and there's no law. You just kill whoever the fuck you want.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
finding people that done you wrong in year 8. Be like, you never gave me my fucking pencil case back. Have that.
I thought it was gonna be something like that. See, just before we went into COVID. And I thought someone was going to go crazy there before the lockdown happened. I remember sitting here at the end of the night and I was doing my admin, and then I could see like guys circling out the front with their bicycles and like kind of things over their face and stuff. And I thought, if it all kicks off, who's going to do anything about it? And I thought, if we're going to enter those kind of times, like Mad Max or something like that there, you know?
I think
it kind of feels like we're heading that way anyway.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it's weird, especially in England, because I think the only reason we haven't had a revolution yet is because no one's formed an orderly enough queue. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone just gets one kick up Charles' arse. But you're also... It felt like it was going to go there, but there was so much uncertainty. I think people really, they just don't want to commit themselves into that. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I think a lot of people are like, it could go that way. But most people just want a quiet life. You've got your kids, whatever. They want to do that thing. But I think if society did actually collapse, properly, touch wood, say there was a nuclear bomb or whatever, 3 days max, and like people would be full on Mad Max, throwing shit at each other.
But I guess you're right, especially with British. It is very they wouldn't revolt. You could do anything, and it's gonna be like,
and it's just like, oh right, okay. Because they were like, oh, no one's allowed to leave your house. And it's okay, thank you very much. I'll just make another cup of tea.
And stuff. They could say from now on, everyone must pat their head and rub their belly as they walk down the street, and you see everybody doing it. It's like, that's what they're saying. You know.
France though, different story.
I know. I was going to say
fucking set fire to everything.
They're like, no, we're not having it. It's But did you see I think it was during the COVID, I can't remember, where it showed you the extent of the kind of fake news, where it showed you some massive bonfire in the middle of Paris somewhere, and it was saying that they were all kicking off, and then a few days later it showed you in the newspaper that bonfire, and it was this big, and a guy had taken a photo like this and make it look like it was huge, and they're showing the extent of how fake our news was now.
Wow, that's crazy,
isn't it? Yeah, you just can't tell anymore. That's the biggest problem. And apparently, it was they reckon the Russians did it a few years ago. They started this here, where they started all the fake news, and then now it's at the point, and this is true, where you just don't know what's real anymore.
That's the thing. It's
you
chaos.
Don't even know if your own opinion's right, because it's based on something you've seen somewhere.
Yep.
You know,
yep.
You're like, am I full of shit? You know,
and it's even hard to believe things with your own eyes. I mean, like you're. Any situation, if there's two people who see it, that they could be two completely different stories. How many times have you explained to someone what's just happened? Someone goes, no, that's not what happened. I'll tell you what's happened.
Yeah.
Everything's perspective. I think we all live in our own sort of realities with stuff like that a little bit.
It's absolutely true. I see it a lot with all the meetings that we have, like with the team, and then you walk away and everyone thinks a different thing.
Yeah, totally.
You know, you can spend 2 hours and you think it's crystal clear. Yep. You could repeat it, and then when you walk away, they go, no, but you meant like this, or this is what you said. It's like, no, I didn't say it. I said this, and
I said Naked Thursdays. God damn it!
Yeah, no, what's everyone wearing clothes for today?
Yeah, God.
So let's bring this back to some more reality.
Yes,
where bits that I don't have to edit out. Aliens, are they real? Do you reckon that's going to be the next thing, though? They're going to stage the alien. Because they had those drones and stuff, didn't they? And then there was a photo, and I was trying to search it to see if it was real, where a huge drone had fallen down in Glasgow or something like that. Did you see this?
No.
Maybe it was fake news.
Maybe, but it could have happened. I mean, I used to be like on it and constantly reading articles, and the last couple of weeks I've just been like, it's all just to keep you distracted. If we're all arguing, and I identify as this, and this is my political opinion, I'm not allowed to agree with you and stuff. We can't sit there and agree that they're the ones f***ing us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because we're too busy, exactly, distracted. Sorry, Ali, can you just check quickly 1 sec? I'm just curious if a huge drone fell in Glasgow, or whenever I was young, whenever I was like 16. I used to get the Inquirer. Do you know the Inquirer?
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Aliens were speaking to the president, and it was all this crazy shit, and Bat Boy and all this kind of stuff.
Bat Boy, yeah. Bat Boy.
Bad Boy, yeah, but that was an actual newspaper that went out, so...
But have you heard the Werner von Braun thing about... right, so he was the guy who designed the V2 rocket for the Germans, and then he was brought in by the Americans, and he designed the rocket that took us to the moon. And he turned around and said, this is all a plan. And he was like, first the communists will be the enemies, then it'll be third world crazies, then it'll be meteoroids, and then it'll be aliens, and that's the plan of all these different things to control. But then who trusts a Nazi? So
yeah, it wasn't. There was a picture I saw of it actually in the main street, and so on that point, I seen something where they were saying there'd always be this thing where they can charge you more money for it. So it was the hole in the ozone layer.
Yep.
Where the fuck did that go? Did they
Yep.
patch it up? Is that gone? And then now it's the climate emergency.
Yep.
So what I see in my bills now with the electric bills with the 3 pubs is there's now the climate change levy I pay every month. I don't know what it costs me, maybe a couple of £100 or something I got there, but it's money for something something that they've said is a problem that we should all be afraid of. You know, I'm not saying it isn't true. I'm not saying before anyone says I'm a climate denier. Still not completely convinced, but you know.
Well, it's like ULEZ taxing the air we breathe. Mate, I'm far more concerned about the oil that gets dropped in the ocean, or all the plastic that goes in the ocean and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we are designed to consume. And we just
that is the problem, exactly. We're designed to consume. We're only going to consume more and more stuff.
Yep.
They had this whole big thing about the straws, but like Donald Trump made the point, is like, what about all the other stuff that's wrapped in plastic? Is that all fine?
Yeah,
It's just these straws.
Just these straws.
These here is causing the problem.
It's just these straws.
Because everything you buy, and it's true, if I go to Sainsbury's and I buy a Scotch egg in a plastic package, you know, and then I put it in a plastic bag, and you know, it's, although I do recycle my plastic bag actually. So.
But then that little Scotch egg, I love a Scotch egg. By the way. I love a Scotch egg. That little Scotch egg bit, that's not all of them are recyclable. Those, because it's that little thin plastic and stuff like that. So you can't, and then half the time you don't know where to put it, and most of it goes on a landfill.
Yeah, it all goes together, because I know from recycling, we got to separate all the different things, and then we give it to the recycling company who come and collect it. They take it and throw it all into one big lorry.
Yeah.
They're all together. And like one of the managers questioned recently and said, why is it all going together? He goes, our machine separates it after. Then I'm like, well, why do we have to separate it here if you're going to mix it to separate it later? You know, what's the... Yeah, I don't know if recycling... Yeah, we're very conspiracy theorists. I'm not convinced that recycling is a real thing. That's what I'm saying. Maybe 1% of it is getting recycled.
There's probably a lot less. But again, it's big money, because what happens is there are certain countries that will take that stuff because they've got masses of land and they just put it to the landfill. Yeah. So they just sell it to them and they go, well, that's your problem now. Yeah. It's big business. But you're right, we've got very conspiracy. I don't even think you've asked me a question yet.
No. The worst one I seen actually, and it makes you think there's no point in anything you do with recycling, but it was a queue of lorries with the back just full of rubbish, and they were just coming one at a time. Reverse is in India. They were reversing up to the water, the sea, and then just tipping it all in the sea. And then as soon as that one drives off, the next one drives up, and it's just all day long. They're just emptying it all in the sea, and it's like, why are you bothering doing anything?
But the thing is, if someone turned around to you and said, right, your £100 a month or whatever is going to building a machine that's going to take all the plastic out, right, that we've dumped. Say they stop doing it and they go, right, this is the thing, and you get the progress and you see. You'd be like, all right, fair enough, I'm quite happy to give you the money. But you're like, that £100, and that's so, climate change, £100. You're like, what does that mean? What are you going to do with it?
Yeah, exactly. How are you changing the climate with this money?
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing with it?
Yeah.
They should be... they can't just stick that on a bill.
No. They just shout at the atmosphere in the air. They go, stop it!
Yeah, I know.
Sink harder!
Well, have you got that in your restaurant bill? You know, you had your service charge, all your food and stuff, service charge, and it said climate change bill. What did you charge? Yeah. You know, how are you changing the climate with this here? What are you doing with it? You know?
Exactly. If anything, the methane from this mill is now going to affect the climate more.
Exactly. Right, back to comedy. Who's your biggest influence in comedy? It was just a sharp segue.
That was. Yeah,
I thought it gives back to some kind of comedy conversation here.
Back to reality. Back from space, where we didn't go.
They didn't go, did they?
No, I don't know. Jimmy Carr, Tommy Cooper, I would say. So when I was a kid, when I was like 3 or 4, me and my granddad used to watch Tommy Cooper. I fucking loved Tommy Cooper.
Yeah, I used to love Tommy Cooper.
Just so stupid, silly, nothing serious. He's good, but I used to watch Jasper Carrot.
I used to love Jasper Carrot. I can't even remember what he did, but I used to love it.
I just remember he'd sit on a stool and he'd just talk at the camera. But yeah, like Jimmy Carr. I accidentally met Jimmy Carr twice in the same night.
Oh, well, yeah.
I got his autograph. Who else? Ross Noble. Yeah, other people will come to me, but it's all just like a smorgasbord now.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I'd say the vast majority of my humour has come from the people I've interacted in my personal life. My brother, my dad, my mates and stuff like that. Just,
as in jokes about them, or just their style of humour that you've kind of taken on?
Yeah, they're all freaks. No, just it's just that little part of building the joke. I'm always looking for the joke. I always tried to be the funny guy at school because I had glasses. I felt like I had to do something, I guess, I don't know, to be like, to set me apart, I think.
Did you feel like the glasses affected you?
Well, I never wanted to wear them. I never wanted to wear them. But I was always quite fun, but I think I probably tried harder to be liked because of that.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
I guess you never really, as a non-glass wearer in school, you never really considered the fact that the people wearing glasses were self-conscious about those glasses.
Yeah, I suppose it doesn't really...
Is it like being ginger in a way?
Huh?
Is it like being ginger in a way, do you think?
Well, I suppose so.
Yeah.
I suppose so. I don't know. Was that a dig at the beards? Yeah.
I didn't even know your beard was ginger.
Like being a but yeah. But I don't know. Maybe that was a thing. I'm being a little bit too introspective here, but maybe that was a thing. But I've always liked making people laugh. I've always been looking for the joke. Very rarely can I take things seriously.
Yeah.
And it unsettles people when I get serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll just be like, joke, like in a meeting at work or whatever. And like, so I'm the union rep as well for my thing. So I'll just joke, very, very serious point. And everyone like, I can't tell if he's being serious or not, and I'm being deadly fucking serious.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it unsettles people. I feel like I unsettle people in general.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's that Conor McGregor kind of vibe you're giving. But, so you were the class clown then, you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. And did that get you in trouble at all?
Yeah, I was in trouble all the time.
Were you one of those ones always because that's what I was, always in the headmaster's office?
Yeah. I would talk myself in and out of trouble. Mm-hmm. Frequently. There was always something. I always had a bit of a target on my back. I remember once I came back from lunch in sixth form as well, and so I had a bit of a reputation, but I wasn't a bad kid. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was just fun. Yeah. And I was coming back, and I was with a couple of mates of mine, and we looked up in the sky and we saw a UFO. Right, it was this red ball, and we were like, "Oh, that's like a hot air balloon." And like, no, that's moving weird. It was moving like that. And then I swear to God, all of a sudden it appeared on the other side of the sky. Yeah. Right. And everyone was like, "Whoa, what the f?" So, and we gone in, we told the teacher, and my mate Mark walked up to the teacher and was like, "There's something outside flying in the sky. It's red and it's moved from one side of the sky to the other." And she stopped. She looked him in the eyes, in both of his eyes, looked at his pupils and went, "Have you been hanging around with James Townsend?" I was like, "Oh, my reputation precedes me."
But what was it? What was it? Was it?
Fuck knows. UFO, something, I don't know.
So probably UFO.
Probably.
So
there was nothing else that could explain it because it was like, bang, other side of the sky.
I wonder did anything happen between there and then? Did you get like a sudden pain? Did you get a sudden pain?
Yeah. Funny, and we all sort of wandered in like that. Yeah.
And time had just elapsed.
One of them planes that makes your bum hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently that's what happens a lot. Is the people go missing, then they just turn up and they get harassed. So where was I going next? Is should comedy have boundaries? Do you have boundaries? Where do you set your boundaries? I mean, do you pick on any, minorities?
Yeah, all of them. No, I think
you're allowed to pick on Irish people, but other than that, you're not allowed to.
Well, it's easy. No, I think if something's funny, it's funny, right? So like saying, and if something's nasty, it's nasty, but it's all relative. It's all relative. All of this stuff's a spectrum. The majority of things are a spectrum. So it's like if I am talking to someone in the audience, for example, simplest thing, and I go, look, you got a fancy sort of 20s bodybuilder moustache. He's got a very cool moustache, right? Okay, so I could say something about yourself. I say, yeah, you look like a bodybuilder. The ones with the big thing like that, right? And then that's like just a simple joke. But then if I made fun of your moustache, then that's unfair. And it's sort of, I think it's intent, but also you have to be aware of the boundaries are in whether or not it's funny. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I just yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's not, you know,
So you're saying you're allowed to make fun of someone as long as people laugh?
No, you can make fun of someone as long as, like, it actually works. So you said, do I make fun of minorities, for example? So if I sat down and went, right, I'm going to write a joke about a black man, for example, right? That's not going out with the intention of, that is intending to insult someone, because you've kind of got that thing. Whereas if the punchline happens to be race specific, but then there's a nuance and it's clever and you've got some wordplay, then that becomes a joke. Do you know what I mean? It's very different to actually just go setting out to I guess insult someone. So I think and people have their own lines as well. I see people make very, very soft humour. My personal humour is quite dark, but I don't tend to write dark jokes because I don't tend to write dark jokes. Like my stuff's quite similar. But like outside of that, like my humour is very, very dark, and it is dark with certain people. Yeah. And I've got mates of all different backgrounds and stuff like that, and we can make race jokes at each other because we both know that we've done the groundwork, we understand each other. I know we know where each other's coming from and stuff like that. I think a lot of this stuff's relative, and it goes back to building the context prior to the joke. So you can, and if you've not built that context correctly, then the punchline's not going to deliver. You can make the same joke on two different nights in the same club and it not land because you've not done the groundwork initially. Yeah. So I think that question is hard to answer, because my short answer would be no. But the long answer would be, yeah, you've got to have some sort of reason with it. But I don't agree with these people, with these social justice warriors that are going around going, can't joke about that, can't joke about that, can't joke about that, because it's like, it is context. And I think Jimmy Carr's a very good example of that, because he will one, you know what you're going in for, so he can say what the fuck he wants at this point, similar to Ricky Gervais. Yeah. But then also, if you're aware that it's a joke and it's not particularly malicious and it's clever wordplay or whatever, then you can get away with saying those sort of things. Do you see what I mean?
When Louis C.K., he gets away with it, but he doesn't. He just says it. He just says stuff that you shouldn't say.
True, but the thing is, he does it in a clever way. It's not like he's standing there going, everyone should go out and beat people up. It'll be like, I like punching people. And then that's funny because we have the social awareness to know that he actually doesn't like punching people. He's just saying it because it's a stupid thing to say. Yeah,
I seen one where he insulted Asian people and black people at the same time in one joke, but he got away with it and I was like, oh, you couldn't. It's a straight white male, you know, who's just been cancelled for masturbating and stuff. He still is able to push boundaries quite a bit.
He does, but again, also you've got where they've got legacy, comics like that, they've got legacy at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So people have got a confidence in him, I guess, that he doesn't mean it, or that he's...
But I feel like the tide's changing a little bit, because I think where there's so many comedy clubs now, if you do want to have nice, safe humour, you can go to one of those nights. Because there's clubs where you can get a sticker that says whether or not you want to be interacted with, right? It's probably not a comedy club that I'd particularly like to go to.
Say it again. So, you put a sticker on and say, don't interact with me.
Don't talk to me or whatever. I mean, it's probably...
Get out. You know what I mean? Get out. What are you doing here?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you go... I was at Comedy Freaks on Saturday, right? And I've seen everyone to their seat, right? And the second group that came in, I went, do you want to sit at the front? He went, no one's going to pick on me. I went, I promise you, no one's going to pick on you, right? And then my mate Joey just goes up and literally just pointed at him and went, you got a weird haircut or something like that, right? And it was really funny. He went, he promised not to leave me alone. And I was like, why was it the first person? But it was funny because that's not what he said, but he said something and it worked and it was good. But like, part of the fun of going to a comedy club is having a piss taken out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're part of the night, you're part of everything. You'll go home and go, he got picked on last night. And that's fun. But then, you know, if you want safe comedy, if you want social justice comedy, you want to talk about, you know, I don't know, particular rights or whatever, there is a market now and you can go to those particular clubs. But then if that's not your thing, I also don't think that you can point and go, because I don't like that, you're not allowed to like that.
I think if you're someone that wants to wear that sticker, you probably comedy's not for you anyway.
Probably.
You know, or maybe not. Maybe you like comedy, you just don't want to have a spotlight on you. Maybe.
No, true. And look what happened last time someone made people wear stickers.
Yeah,
They all got
exactly.
rounded
Yeah.
up and sent to camps.
Yeah,
So, do you know what I mean? Just give them an armband.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to wrap
Sorry,
up.
Ali. Just killed the cameraman.
Yeah, so we're going to wrap up in a second because we're going to go and cook a badass burger that you've come up with, a chicken burger. Did you get a name for it?
I've been thinking of a couple of names for it.
Okay, throw one out there.
Cock sandwich. See, that's the only one I've got so far, but I'll think of stuff.
Cock
Chicken.
sandwich.
Cockerel McGregor. I like that. Yeah, Cockerel McGregor.
Cock McGregor.
Cockerel McGregor. Yeah.
Cock sandwich I kind of like, but I don't know if we can use... Cause this one...
It's a funny name, all right, but seeing it on a menu...
I guess if it's C-O-Q... Yeah, I think it's something we could do here.
No. It's got to be C-O-C-K.
I don't know.
Because of your punch on for Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. Yeah. Yeah. And so, let's see. I think there's definitely something to go on that there one. So, cool. We're going to go now. So thanks very much, James, for taking part in...
Thank you, Leigh.
That flew by. I see all that conspiracy theory stuff.
It really did. I was going to get my diagrams out.
I had questions, but then once I mentioned conspiracy theory, he went off.
I'm going to ask
We
you.
didn't even get on to the Twin Towers.
No, we will do. Let me ask you a question. Simulation theory, past lives. What do you think about past lives?
I think they're real.
Cool, brilliant, thank you.
And there you go. Tune in next time for Up In Smok'd Podcast.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Have you got anything coming up, or do you want to plug your handle, or follow James?
Teapot handles. James Townsend comedy.
James Townsend comedy.
Check it.
You can see him all over London, looking like Conor McGregor, stressed
like
out,
it.
sweating, and check him out.